Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the January 13th, 2021 meeting of the Delhi Township Board of Trustees. In a moment, we'll have the pledge, and then we will have our moment of silence. Our moment of silence goes out tonight, I think, as we start this new year and everything that's going on in this country, for some peace in the land, if you would. Many of you have noticed that the flags have been at half-staff for disturbance at the Capitol building a few days ago. And anyone that was injured or lives that were lost, especially with first responders and police personnel. So we remember them with special silence, which will be after the Pledge of Allegiance. So please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. Our first item on the agenda is nomination of a board chair. It's been an honor and a distinct privilege to be a chairperson of the Board of Trustees for this past year, but as we do each year, we switch it up. So we retain a motion, if you would, please.
Motion to appoint the board chair for 2021.
I move to appoint Rose Sturts as board chair for 2021.
I second that motion. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Congratulations, Rose.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I look forward to a year. But I want to thank you, Mike, for a great year of your leadership. I don't think people appreciate really what the chair does throughout the year. They coordinate the events and keep us in the loop, the board, and keep us connected in that regard. If there's an important meeting that only one trustee can attend, the chair is usually the person that attends. So they represent the board in many ways. So this is all part of the sunshine law. If people don't understand what that means, no two trustees can be in a meeting without it being declared a meeting. And so that's why the chair usually goes. So Mike, you've done a great job, and I greatly appreciate it. I'm sure Cheryl and Jim do also, but I look forward to emulating your good work. So thank you for that.
Well, you know what? Honestly, I had an easy year, unfortunately, everything, but as I said, yep, it's great. And of course, the person that I came in, everyone sets a good example. So we just keep on keeping on. So congratulations again. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Look forward to a good year. All right. Mr. Luby, approval of minutes, please.
Motion to approve the minutes for the Board of Trustees meeting held on December 16th, 2020, and dispense with the reading.
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve the payment of overtime for pay periods ending 12/15 and 12/29/2020.
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor? Yes.
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 Motion approved.
Motion to approve bills for payment.
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Motion approved. Okay, report from fiscal officer, Mr. Luby.
Resolution 2021-1, resolution requesting the county auditor to make advance payments of taxes pursuant to RC 321.34, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution?
Jim, I'll defer to Jim if you want to go over this
Okay.
one.
This is a normal procedure that we go through throughout the year. And it's just requesting that we get our advanced tax funds in order to go ahead and start paying bills again for the year.
Okay. I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Libby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes. Resolution passes.
Resolution 2021-2, resolution amending appropriations for expenses, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second this resolution.
Any discussion on the resolution?
I can tell you this particular resolution is balancing what FEMA funds carried over from last year. So we have the project, the flood, the water project that FEMA's funding were a pass-through. And we had to balance what was coming out of last year into this year before we put them in the appropriation. So that's what the money is moving in this particular appropriation resolution.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes, resolution passes.
Resolution 2021-3, resolution authorizing the township administrator to spend greater than $10,000 on behalf of the township, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the motion to adopt the resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution?
I can tell you this is each meeting, if we have expenses that exceed $10,000 that aren't authorized in another contract or another action, this is put on your agenda for your approval. The beginning of the year, we tend to have a lot of them just for the year upcoming. I'd be happy to walk through all of them, but it's a lot of utility stuff, benefit stuff, and then some of the vehicle purchases. So that's what this resolution is doing for you today.
Okay. Any other
I moved it.
discussion? Okay.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes, resolution passes. Thank you. Mr. Luby, do you have a report?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you. Trustee correspondence, Trustee Seavey.
Well, I'd like to say ditto to your comments, Rose, and that is, thank you, Michael Davis, for a great year. And certainly we went through territory we never thought we'd be going through before. And Zoom has been an interesting meeting venue, that's for sure. And we do appreciate all that you've done to coordinate all of us on this. And Rose, best of luck, girl. Let's go.
Thanks.
2021. Got to make it better than 2020.
Oh, we have to, yes.
That's all I have. Thanks,
All right,
guys.
thank you. Trustee Davis.
Well, I actually spoke with a resident earlier today. They brought up a concern around the park, the lake, basically with the doggies. I guess some people feel like since the ducks are already doing their business, that's that. But as I reminded them, ducks don't have a human to clean up after them as our dogs do. So, but the question came up on having the bags, the dog poop bags, whatever, around the lake and things like that are easily accessible. And I thought that's a good point, although I'm surprised that we don't have those already. But if we don't, can we get some installed?
Okay, good comment. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Madam Chairman, I have a comment to that too, because coming up for the season, we're also going to put a sign up there about feeding the ducks and what to do if you hook a turtle or a duck. And what we might do is put that all as a package and include the doggy bags. Only the doggy bags that don't have the bones in that you take home. The doggy bags that you, those bags.
Okay, good comment.
It's certainly
I
not a
also-
carry out.
Yeah.
I also saw on social media where somebody said, somebody came and dropped 4 ducks off for us, gave us a little present, and they weren't
saw
really
that.
identified. So they're trying to identify what kind they are and that they're all huddled together. So that just came through today. So we'll be talking with Mr. Soupy about that, because we always have a duck problem. So we need to look and see what we're going to do about that. So I appreciate all your comments. For my correspondence, residents, you should be receiving a Delhi Dispatch, our newsletter, coming out soon. It's under structure right now. And then, of course, it has to go through the mailing process. So be looking for those on the horizon. Lots of interesting reading. In it, you'll read two things on the front. One, I just found out the other day. Well, we knew that Cincinnati Magazine voted Delhi one of the top 10 places to live, and we've been very proud about that. City Beat named Delhi the #1 suburban neighborhood on their Best of Cincinnati 2020 publication. So that was just brought to my attention the other day. So go Delhi. Imagine when our development is really underway and finished, where we'll be on that line. So very proud of that. I'm a proud mama. And then also thanks to Trustee Seavey, who is leading our We Thrive commitment. We got a proclamation this year, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but the last two things that are on the proclamation is Delhi Township has successfully met or exceeded continuation requirements for 2020 We Thrive community recognition. And so we're being recognized, and thank you for your ongoing work with that. Thank you to the citizens who are involved in that, because I know you have a committee, and some of our employees. So again, proud to be honored as a We Thrive community. So thank you for that. Also, I want to thank all of our Delhi employees for the past year, their diligence, their work through COVID, through different operating protocol. Thank you for being who you are and being dedicated to the citizens of Delhi. So good things happening, very exciting. Okay, thank you. Public Works.
Resolution 2021-4, resolution declaring necessity for Delhi Township Street Rehabilitation and Repair Project 2021-A, and ordering the construction, repair, and maintenance of sidewalks and driveway aprons along these various township streets without petition, establishing tentative assessment estimates against abutting property owners pursuant to RC 5543.10, declaring emergency and dispensing with a second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second this resolution.
Any discussion on the resolution, Mr. Rippinger?
Thank you, trustees. We're excited about this year's road project. It's over $1 million contract that's going out to bid. It's about 1.5 miles of roadway. 4 out of the 5 streets receive a good amount of traffic. It's kind of the main roads through that Mount Vernon subdivision. And this is the earliest we've been out to bid. So we anticipate some good pricing and early timeline is what we hope for.
Great. Any more discussion on this? Okay.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes, resolution passes. Thank you, Mr. Rippinger. Do you have anything else for us?
That's all I have at this time.
All right, thank you. Fire Department. Okay, Chief's on. Mr. Luby?
Motion to extend the injury on duty leave for firefighter paramedic Peter Gardner until January 11th, 2021.
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion approved. Okay, you have anything for us, Chief? What's going on?
What's not, right?
Not much. I can report that about 47% of our fire department staff have received their first dose vaccine. And next week, we actually start with our second dose. So we're in the process of coordinating with staff to get those delivered. I know the county's mentioned about distribution issues and stuff, but we're ahead of the curve. We're slowly getting there.
Okay. It was interesting that Hamilton County Commissioner Driehaus announced today and tried to explain that Not all of the first, was A1 group have received their first round yet, and then some will be coming up on their second already. And then they're out there saying 80-year-olds can get it. But again, like you said, it's a distribution issue. If they don't have the product, you can't get them. So be patient. You might make an appointment with somebody to get a shot, but the product may not be there yet. So it's kind of interesting.
Right. My understanding is it's not necessarily a supply issue as much as it is as a distribution issue.
Okay. Thank you for that correction on that. Thank you. Okay. Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Parks and Recreation. I see we don't have anything. Mr. Soupy, is that still the case?
Yeah, thanks, trustees. We don't have anything on the agenda tonight, but to answer a few questions about the bags and geese and everything dropping off. We currently do have dog bags around, but unfortunately they do get torn down. So we're going to implement a new style. I believe we have it at Story Woods right now. It's a container and it's basically bring a bag, leave a bag for extra Kroger bag style, that type of thing. So we don't have to spend a lot of money on the other bags. We're implementing those now, so we're getting ready to put those in. We do have a contact for the ducks when they're dropped off from Hamilton County, so I'm going to work on that. But the problem is they're hard to catch. So those we noticed those were, it looked like they weren't taken care of really well. I think people get them and then they can't handle them, so they drop them off. So being that they don't like the fur and stuff are all kind of matted right now, so we're working on those, trying to catch them too. And what else do we have? The signs, just to verify, we do have signs all around the lake too. It says, please don't feed the geese and duck. Even though it sounds like a good idea, the ducks are, it kind of deters them. It doesn't help them out because they're being fed so much. Even though their granddaughters and grandparents come along and throw the stuff out, it's not helpful for them. They do get enough food here and there, so it does work out if people kind of read the signs. There are many up there, but they just kind of don't pay attention to them. So that would be nice if they kind of paid attention to them.
Right.
Randy,
Yes.
I did get a phone call from a resident with a interesting concern because she was approached by what appeared to be a homeless man living in our park. So I know that we've talked to Delhi Police. They're aware, and I think that same person, Rose, you encountered that they were walking down Delhi Pike. So everyone, if you do come across an unfortunate homeless person living in our park, please let us know. Please contact the administration or the police department and let us approach them and get them the necessary help that they need.
Yes, there have been a few in the park this past year just for the various reasons. And we do contact the police, let them know. They do help them if they can, but sometimes it's not possible.
Right.
Yeah, but
Yes.
stay in touch with us and let us know so we can get them proper help.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And that when we say contact the police aren't harassing them. Actually, the case where I was involved, I just happened to walk into a business where the man had walked in and they were finding a shelter for him and were able to. So the police were going to do the transport to that shelter. Unfortunately, it seems like he was sicker than he thought. And so they ended up taking him to the fire department who transported him to a hospital. So when we say police, we're not harassing them. We are trying to help them in any way that we can. So don't want people out there to think that we're bullying homeless people. We're trying to help, but the right departments are the police and the fire. So thank you for clarifying that. All right. Anything else, Randy? You want to talk about the park equipment being ordered?
Yes, the park equipment was ordered and purchased, I believe. We just got notification it's going to be receiving it early February. So we're going to unload it and store it behind our buildings until hopefully groundbreaking soon. We'll see when that happens.
When the ground thaws?
Yes.
Great.
Well,
all right. Looking forward to that. Thank you.
Jack has a comment.
I'm sorry.
I would add in, we just got confirmation literally this afternoon. The state capital funds, which we're getting 150,000, they will be in a reimbursement mode. So we don't have to stagger the work and to take advantage of those funds. And then also the county funds, we have 150,000 in county funds. So we have 300,000 in funds and both of those can be reimbursed. So we're gonna move forward with the project. We purchased the equipment Randy's talking about, the, you know, like the tower and the swings and the twirly things. They're on state bid list, so we purchased those, and then the bid will be putting them in the ground, getting the ground ready, doing the other appurtenances and other things. So that should be ready by the time warm weather is kids are able to play on it, or shortly thereafter.
Okay, with expansion, potential for expansion.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, we'll get everything done with the first go around.
Okay,
That's the expectation, and we'll have some, the service will be ADA compliant. There will be some wheelchair accessible components. So not just accessible, but we're going to include some components, actual wheelchairs can go on. I mean, it's going to be about $800,000 worth of playground. So it'll be nice. It'll be, people will enjoy it. It's from 0 to 12 basically. And if you're not a big 13-year-old, probably you can get on some of the stuff too.
perfect. Well, Randy, for not having anything on your agenda, you were quite informative tonight. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right, thank you so much. All right, Police Department, Mr. Luby.
Motion to approve the pay increase for Caitlin M. Kavanagh, part-time police clerk, to $13.40 per hour, effective January 7th, 2021.
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion approved. Chief Howard, you have any discussion? I mean, can you explain that this increase isn't an off time because she's been here a year?
Yeah, she just reached her 1 year on the 7th. So on January 1st, she wasn't eligible for an increase. But once she reached January 7th, she was.
Okay, anything else you'd like us to know?
No, it's pretty much, it's kind of all quiet. Let's keep it that way.
Okay.
Madam Chairman,
Great.
Madam
Go ahead.
Chairman, if I can compliment the chief and his department on that, the run of the other day on Covedale.
Yeah.
Where the gentleman, the people abandoned the car, tried to take off, and as I understand it, you apprehended the ones that caused the accident who tried to leave. Is that accurate?
Correct, yes.
Great job,
Well done.
everyone. Yep.
Yeah, very proud. Chief, you want to talk about our new hire?
Yeah, John, he's doing well. He's a little overwhelmed with learning everything, I think, but that comes with the territory. It's kind of unique. It's kind of a neat situation because we do school walks every day, where day shift walks through the schools. So him and his FTO, Officer Hunter, were walking through, I believe it was C.O. Harrison, and walked past a German class. So it was kind of neat because he says, "Hey, do you mind if I go in and talk to him real quick?" So they got with the teacher and made sure the teacher was okay with it. Just didn't want to start talking, and not be able to hold that conversation that he could hold. So she said, fine. So they spent some time in there and it was well received. So
Oh, that's great.
looking forward to that. And it was a good start off to his career to be able to go in there and relate with him and talk to him.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Jan is from Germany. And he moved here, followed his wife here. And so we're the wonderful benefactors of that move. So that's wonderful. Great. Thanks. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Okay. Administration, Mr. Luby.
Resolution 2021-5, resolution authorizing the township administrator to execute rental agreements with the Board of Elections, Hamilton County, Ohio, for township facilities and dispensing with a second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on the resolution? Mr. Cameron?
Sure. This is the standard Board of Election agreement they ask you to sign to have a polling place. We do it at the lodge in the Senior Community Center. No money's exchanged. We allow them to use it on the different, primary, special, general election days. So the law director says we have to authorize it by resolution. So that's what we're doing.
All
We
right.
follow the rules.
He's a stickler.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Bless you.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes, resolution passes. All right, anything else you'd like us to know, Mr. Cameron?
Do you have another one on your agenda? Did I miss that?
I have community
more.
development.
We got one more resolution.
Oh, I'm sorry, crossed off the wrong one. Sorry. Are you gonna fire me? Come on.
You knew at this.
Yeah.
I'd like to take back
Freshman
my
pains,
motion.
freshman pains.
Mike, can you
Oh.
step
Do you
in,
want-
please?
Mr. Luby, the next resolution, please. Sorry.
Resolution 2021-6, resolution authorizing the elected officers of Delhi Township to join the coalition of large Ohio urban townships, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
Second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on the resolution? Mr. Cameron?
Sure. This is our last resolution on the agenda, by the way, for the administration. So CLOUT is the Ohio Township Association is a group that's in existence to help townships further things at the state level. So they'd be, I call them a lobbying organization, but they're not exactly just a lobbying. They're our organization to warehouse ideas, interact with other townships. We have uniqueness, not like municipalities. This resolution is specific to the group of larger townships, coalition of large Ohio urban townships, that would even have different needs at the state level than the smaller rural townships. So
Right.
it seems like overkill that they asked to have a resolution confirming our participation, but that's what they do. And this resolution lets you participate. And I think it's $200 to be a member for the year.
And we follow the rules. Trustee Seavey, you're on the board or you're a representative, are you not?
I'm the representative for Southwest Ohio, and we often talk about how, as a township trustee, we have to manage government and understand government above us. And CLOUT really helps us with Ohio legislature. And it's been a great organization for us. And I'm proud to represent the Southwest Ohio region. So, here we are.
Right.
We're the large urban township.
Right. And our needs are sometimes different than the smaller ones.
Definitely.
Yeah, I believe you tell the story where we're at the Ohio Township meeting, and there was a snowfall, and some of the trustees had to leave because not only are they the trustees, but they drive the trucks that cleared their street.
Yes, they drove the plows. We started off with like 200 people in the meeting room and ended up with like 50 because
Yeah.
everyone left to drive the plows. But
Except for CLOUT, right?
for clouds. So,
Well, thank you for representing us. You do it so well.
Great.
Any
Thank
other
you.
comments? Any other comments?
No,
Okay.
I think I moved to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes, resolution approved. Mr. Cameron, do you have any other additional comments?
I can briefly talk about the project at the former Remke site if you want me to just summarize quickly.
That'd be nice, thank you.
And there will be in the dispatch, there will be some more dialogue and information about the project. We last month had selected Turner to be our construction manager when we start moving forward. They've been integrated into the project team. We continue to talk with the architects in refining the spaces, the fitness center, cultural arts center, administrative offices. We have the middle area that we're maybe call a plaza or a park. So that's coming into focus. We still need to get our apartment operator signed up on their lease. So we're still working through that. And these things don't just fall into place quickly, but that is still remaining to be finalized. We have a medical operator that we think will be on the site, and that'll be a nice inclusion. But things are coming together. The pieces are coming together. We're refining costs and construction estimates. So we're hoping April, May timeframe for groundbreaking. That's our hope. It's still possible, but you know, when other parties are at play to make the agreements work, sometimes your time frame isn't as quick as you would hope it is. But we're still moving forward, and a lot of energy around that project and other things around the township in general with the development side.
All right, thank you, appreciate it. All right, community development. Okay, we'll get Greg on, there we go. Okay, Mr. Luby.
Resolution 2021-7, resolution certifying abatement expenses at 519 Mantola Avenue, 4027 Dye Pike, and 5421 Cleander Drive to the county auditor for assessment, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on the resolution? Mr. DeLong?
Well, thank you and Happy New Year to everyone. Yeah, we had these 3 properties that went through the entire nuisance abatement process. We ended up having to clean them up, as you've seen in the before and after photos. We ended up having to put assessments on all 3 of them for a total of $1,725. And those range from $475 to $625 per property. So.
Right. And again, for those of you who might be new watching this, those costs that we're passing through the abatements, we are not making money on. They are the cost to get the job done. That's why the jobs vary from dollar to dollar. So again, I know I mentioned that a lot, but I just want to make sure if somebody's new, they know that we're not in the business of making money cleaning up people's yards. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes. Resolution passes.
Resolution 2021-8, resolution declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 411 Pedretti Avenue, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on the resolution, Mr. DeLong?
Yeah, this is actually a first-time offender. As you saw in the photo that was on the screen, there was some debris in the side yard, including a tire, screen door, and some other miscellaneous items. They were still in that location as of this morning, so we do request to declare it a nuisance.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call.
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes. Resolution passes.
Resolution 2021-9, resolution declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 1032 Beach Meadow Lane, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution, Mr. DeLong?
Yeah, as you saw in the photo, there was some debris in the yard, including a tire and some other miscellaneous items. I looked back on history on this property. This is a repeat offender. Since 2005, we had 36 complaints on this property alone. So it was in that condition. It's seen in the pictures that were flashed up on the screen as of this morning. So we do request to declare it a nuisance.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes. Resolution passes.
Resolution 2021-10, resolution declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 1121 Wilderness Trail, declaring an emergency and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution, Mr. DeLong?
Yeah, this is a first-time offender. As you saw in the photo, there's a mattress on the side of the house. That mattress was there as of this morning. So we do request to declare it a nuisance.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes, resolution passes. I'd also like to remind our citizens that we don't go out looking for these things. They are reported to us. So again, if you're new, we're not out there driving up and down the street looking for these things. Okay, Mr. Luby.
Resolution 2021-11, resolution declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 4932 Mount Alverno Road, declaring emergency and dispensing with second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on the resolution, Mr. DeLong?
Yeah, this property, that debris is located in the rear yard. Since the current property owner has purchased that home, this is an owner-occupied home. Actually, every one of the cases tonight was owner-occupied homes. We have had either 5 nuisance or zoning violation complaints filed on the property. As of this morning, the debris was still in the yard, so we do request declaring a nuisance.
I move to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading of this resolution.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes, resolution passes. Mr. DeLong, any comments you want to make? What's going on?
Well, unfortunately, this year is not starting off well with nuisances again. Last year, we did break the 1,000 number barrier. We had 1,070 complaints filed. Actually, that number is actually higher than that. If we have an open case and receive additional complaints on it, we do not keep track of those, but they are filed in our system. So I'd probably add about another 100 to that 1,070. We're busy as usual in our department. I want to thank the community for helping us with Census 2020. We did wrap that up very successfully this past year. A lot of great projects hopefully kicking off here in 2021, a few on the pike, residential developments around the community. We're just staying really busy in this department. We're small and mighty, as we like to say, and we're going to keep trucking along and doing the best we can and here to serve the community. So, and we're always here to answer questions for the community. We do see a lot of things on social media. We do request that you call and talk to us. There's always 2 sides to every story. Some of those postings we see on social media do hurt a little bit of our business community. And, you know, businesses are struggling during this COVID pandemic. So negative posts about a business does not help the business community at all. So we want to make sure that the truth is being said around the community. So we do encourage the public, if they have questions, feel free to give us a call at 922-2705. And we're here to answer any questions we can for you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. DeLong.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, being in our Zoom format, unfortunately, it would be time for public comments, but we don't have any. So we'll move on to announcement of community events. Mr. Luby.
The High Branch Library has a couple of programs. The virtual story time, Movers and Shakers, is Tuesday, January 19th from 2 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. It will be a Zoom meeting and registration is required. The recommended ages are 1 to 4. The virtual homeschool book club, Grump, the Fairly True Tale of Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs, is Wednesday, January 20th from 1 to 2 p.m. It is a Zoom meeting. Registration is required and the suggested ages are 8 to 12. The virtual homeschool book club, The New Kid, is Wednesday, February 17th from 1 to 2 p.m. It's also a Zoom meeting and registration is required. The suggested ages are 8 to 12. The Delhi Historical Society program, Genealogical Records of Mount St. Joseph, will be Monday, February 8th from 7 to 8 p.m. It will be at Delhi Park Lodge or virtual. Check their website to confirm in person or virtual. It is presented by Veronica Buchanan, archivist, Sisters of Charity of Cincinnati, and Delhi's Historical Society board member. The Delhi Township Veterans Association General Meeting is Tuesday, February 9th from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. That's at the Delhi Park Lodge. Visit their website to confirm the meeting format. You can contact Jeff Leffler, the commander, with questions at 513-471-8693. That's all we have.
All right, thank you. We do have a need to go into executive session this evening. We thank you for joining us tonight. Our next meeting is Wednesday, the 27th, as far as we know. That will be virtual. And so thank you for joining us. Mr. Luby, if you would read the motion.
Motion to retire to executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, and or compensation of a public employees of the township.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes, motion's carried. Again, thank you for joining us tonight. Please stay healthy out there, and hope to have you join us again on January 27th.
You want me to leave you guys here or dump this one and start a new one for executive session?
You're still recording.